Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lenny. If you are a content creator like myself, then you are probably always looking for ways to automate your content or automate your content flow. Especially if you're on platforms like, let's say, Twitter, that require you to post as often as possible. So in today's tutorial, I'm basically going to walk you through exactly how I'm able to automate my social media posts so that I don't really have to actively be involved in the social media processes. So I'm going to show you how to build an AI agent that would basically act as your social media assistant, who would basically be able to create tweets for you, to be able to retweet your content or retweet other contents as well. So you guys are something you're interested in, then don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe to my YouTube channel, as I usually do post tutorials on the latest AI tools. And I'm sure you're wondering what an AI agent is. So an AI agent is like a smart assistant that can think, learn and act on its own to complete tasks. So just imagine having a virtual helper that can answer questions, automate social media posts, write emails, create designs, and even chat with your customers. So AI agents would basically follow your instructions, and they use AI to make decisions just like a digital assistant or just like a virtual assistant would for you. But it can do this 24/7. And the best part of this is that you can build your own AI agent. You don't need to write a single line of code. I'm going to show you exactly how you're able to do this, even if you are not tech savvy, okay? Let me know in the comment section below what do you think about this tutorial and if you want me to be doing more content like this. So the first reason is N8N. So M8N basically has like a cloud version and also has a desktop version. So the cloud version you have to pay for, or the desktop version is free. So if you don't want to pay for the cloud version, you can basically use the desktop version. Like I said, the desktop version is free, and it does everything that a cloud version would do for you as well. So so the first step is to have N8N. And if you prefer to use a cloud version, then there's about, I think, a 14-day free trial period where you can try it out to see whether you like it or not. So when you come into N8N, the next tool you would also need is ChatGPT. So just make sure that you have ChatGPT opened while watching through this tutorial. And then you would also need some API keys for the various platforms you want to tap into. So for this particular tutorial, I'm just using Twitter as an example, or X as an example. So you need to generate like API keys, your own API keys for that. And the tutorials to do all that, I'm gonna need that as well in the description box or the comment section so that I can go check them out. Okay, so when you come into N8N, you just click on Create Workflow. And for every AI agent, you really want a trigger, okay? A trigger is basically like a first step, or work is actually gonna activate your AI agent. So in this case, I am basically trying to build an AI agent that would take information from a link I provided, and based on the information in the link, is gonna drop some social media post and post it on Twitter. So for my first step, I really want to look it up into Google Sheets. So I already have my Google Sheets here available, so I'm just gonna open it. So I just have one column really, and that column I just call the links, and then I have all the links in here. So that's the first step. You need to have a spreadsheet like this. You can call it anything, and then you have your links in here. I already have about 4 links. You could have as many links as possible. And then in here, I'm gonna click on this, and then once you click on this, it basically opens up a side window here. So you go into, you can either trigger manually or you can trigger on an app event. So more use on app event, and in here I'm gonna select Google Sheets, okay? And then in Google Sheets, you can really decide what should happen here. I'm just gonna say on row added. So what I'm trying to do is that if a row is added to my spreadsheet, then call this agent to produce a number of posts for me and post them on Twitter. Okay, so when you come in here, you need to connect your credentials. I've already done that. You basically click on create new credentials, and then you can sign in with your Google account. Okay, so since I've already created my credentials, I'm not going to create that again. And then the next step is you could really ask it to pull your spreadsheet, let's say every minute, every hour, every day. It really depends on what you want to do. And then from the document, we're just gonna choose my documents in here, which is social media article document I created for the purposes of this tutorial. And then from the sheets, that particular document, as you can see, that particular document has only one sheet in it, so that's basically all the reason. And then I'm going to come in here and, like I said, trigger on rule added. Let's see if we want to add any other option. No, I don't want to add any other option, so I'm just going to test this to see if this connection worked. So let's click on fetch test results and let's see what's gonna happen. Okay, so as you can see, it's returned 4 items in here for us, so we are good. I think we're in a good shape now. I'm gonna go back to the canvas. With this amount, and we have our trigger points. The next step is for my trigger, we said we wanted it to call the agent whenever it has been added, but we never really mentioned what row, or like, because as you can see, we already have 4 lines in the spreadsheet. We already have 4 links in the spreadsheet, okay? So we only wanted to generate a post on the latest link I put in there. So I'm gonna click in here, and then I'm gonna say I'm just gonna run some code as well. So I'm gonna say code, okay? Don't be scared. I promise you, I'm not gonna write a single line of code. You don't have to be tech savvy. When I click on code in here, all what I want is this glow sheet trigger is bringing 4 items. I just want you to pick just the last item, okay? So like I mentioned, no line of code. So you come in here and click on ask AI, and you say, hey AI, generate a JavaScript code that returns the last row of the sheet, okay? We just want that, and then we'll click on generate code. Okay, plus you can see this code has been generated. I'm gonna click on test step, and as you can see, it's generated the last row of the spreadsheet, which is the last news article I have in there. So now that has worked, we'll just go back to the combat. Just make sure that you're testing your AI agent, or you're testing every step of the way, just so that if there's a mistake, you're able to cut it as soon as possible. Okay, so now that we have our code set up, now we have our spreadsheet set up, the next step is now to involve our AI agent. Okay, so we're still going to click on the plus sign, and then we're going to go to advanced AI, and then we are going to click here, and then we're going to select AI agent. Okay, so now that we have our AI agent, the next step for us is to configure it. Okay, so we have it in here. We're just gonna say define below. So for every AI agent, they really require an input. Okay, so what link should they be working on? We want them to work on this link here, okay, which is the last the output of our last step. Okay, so based on what's in this link, we want you to really come in here and do everything I ask you to do here. So this is where you're writing up so you are a helpful assistant that analyzes the link provided and drafts a social media post for Twitter. Okay, I'm just gonna copy this, and because I want it to be a lot more elaborate than just these 3 lines, I mean, if I just keep it with 3 lines, I'm just gonna come in here into ChatGPT, and then I'm gonna say expand on this, include steps. Okay, you want the AI agent to be as much as possible, so you just want to make sure that you are sort of being a lot more elaborate. Okay, so ChatGPT is generating all the steps they need for us. We'll just have to copy these steps and put them back into N8M once you're done. So as you can see, it's defining specific things like it should be concise within 280 characters, because with Twitter, it's even giving examples, right? With Twitter, if you are not on like the progression, you have a restriction on the number of characters you could have in a post. So I like that is really like it's really given all the restrictions and everything, including a call to actions and stuff like that. So let's come in back here. Let's come back into N8M and then copy and paste this here. So we are good here. You're not going to add any options again. if I test the step here, it's gonna fail because you need to configure the model you want to use. So I'm just gonna go back to the Canvas API. So again, you have to go into OpenAI and set your own API key. I already did that. You know that today on API key, you have to go to platform.openai.com. Gonna leave the links in the description box or in the comment section so that for easy navigation for you. And then you just have to follow the steps, create your own API key. And I must mention that there's a cost to that, but if you have about $5, you should be fine. And so since I already have my credentials here, I don't need to do that. I'm just gonna select GPT-4 or Mini as my model. And then in terms of options, probably not gonna choose anything here. I think I'm good. Okay, so we go back, and then the next step is we really want to store whatever we are doing in memory, okay, so that we don't lose our session. So I'm going to click on simple memory, and again I'm going to click on define below for the session ID. And for session ID, I'm still going to use like the links in here, and yeah, I think we are good. And then I'm going to go back. Okay, now we have our model that is going to do whatever the agent is saying. We have memory ready and configured. So now if I open my agent, I can basically test the step. Okay, so as you can see, our output has been generated and it has the draft tweet for us here. So I'm gonna go back, and mind you, if you wanted to have like multiple tweets, you could mention it. You could say that generate about 4 different tweets from this, or you could really define everything you want in this AI agent. Okay, so I think we are making a lot of progress here. The next step is to come in here. Now we have our output. Where do we really want the output to go into? We want it to flow through Twitter, okay? AI is great, but AI can be a double-edged sword. So you always want to have a human element in there. You always want to make sure that you are approving whatever goes out there, which is why I'm gonna now come in here and I'm going to include a human in the loop. What this means is that before you put anything on X, just make sure I have approved this. Okay, so what will happen here is that whatever draft or whatever output you saw in here, the agent is going to send me that output for me to look at it first. If I approve it, then the agent can now send this to my account on Twitter. If I don't approve it, the agent should not send it. Okay, so where do I want to receive the approval? You can decide to receive the approval in WhatsApp, Telegram, Slack, Teams, Google Chats, Gmail, Discord. I'm just going to use Gmail. And again, you should have connected your Gmail, simple as clicking on create new credential and then sign me in with Google. Okay, so let's close this. And then since I already have my credentials created, I don't have to do that. Results, I'm just going to choose message, officially send and wait for a response, meaning that once you send me the email, just wait for me to respond first. Okay, so where do I want to send the email to? I'm going to send the email to my email address. Okay, and then subject, I'm going to say approval required for Twitter pushed. Okay, and in terms of message, for the message, I would want to first put in this one the link, okay, and also the outputs. Okay, the reason why I'm putting in the link and the output is I want to see what it's in the link, and I also want to see what's in the output. So that's good. My spouse type approval options, I want to approve and disapprove. So I want to have the ability to approve or disapprove if I don't like it. And now I'm gonna test this. Okay, so I have to go into my email. As you can see, it's being delivered. Waiting for my approval. So if I approve this, you'll see that it's been approved. If I decline this, you see that it's been declined. So as you can see, it also contains the link, and this is a draft tweet based on what's in the link. So this is cool. I'm just gonna decline at the moment. Okay, and let's go back to N8N. So now in N8N, we have this process working fine. So we go back. Now we want to include that if else statement. Okay, so if I approve this, what should happen? If I don't approve this, what should happen? Now if I approve this, I really want it to go into my Twitter. So let me go to if, And then I'm gonna configure this. If it's a boolean, so I'm gonna say boolean. If it's true, then do something. If it's not true, then do something. Okay, I'm just gonna go back and then I'm gonna hook this to Twitter. Okay, so I'm gonna say X. As you can see, there are a number of actions you can do here. So if you're on create a direct message, create a tweet, you could like, retweet, search. So I really want to create a tweet. Okay, so let's come in here and let's see, create a tweet. So if I approve it, just create a tweet. And again, I already have my credentials sorted out already. So I'll say that if you want to have like a seed story, I'll just make sure like you're setting up all the credentials, getting the API keys for all the various tools you want to use in your agent. Okay, so I already have my Twitter API set up here. And in terms of, you want to tweet and operation create, which is really what we want to do. And then in terms of the text, we want to test what we have in here. But we can't really test this because we don't have any data here to test. I'm just going to go back into the canvas and then I'm going to test this workflow. So let me put this off for now and then I'm going to test this workflow, okay? And then the reason why I'm testing this workflow again is because I want to create a scenario if it's true. So this time around, when we receive the tweet, I'm going to accept it instead of decline. So when I come in here, now it's waiting for me to approve. So I'm just going to go back into my email address. And as you can see, it's here waiting for my approval. And then I'm going to click on approve and then go back into N8N. Okay, so now that it's approved, if I come in here, I'm going to switch this on. If I come in here and as you can see, I have some inputs data that I can use here. So in terms of text, what are we really looking to approve? You're just looking to approve the output of the AI agent, which is this one. So we drag it in here. And now if I should press the step, you see that it would go into my Twitter account. This was able to compete successfully. And if we should go into our Twitter account, we should see this text in there. So I'm just going to go into my Twitter account. So as you can see, this has been tweeted successfully onto my Twitter account. It shows that everything works fine. I can do one more trial just to test if everything worked. I'm just going to go into Google and I'm going to click on AI news. And I'm just going to choose the latest AI news that came up today. I'm just going to add it in here. And then I'm going to activate I'm going to save this. And I'm going to activate my agent. And now let's see what happened, okay? Okay, so since I added a new role in there, I should receive a message soon telling me to approve a message. Telling me to approve a tweet. And once I approve the tweet, as you can see, this is the tweet that needs to approve. DeepMind CEO predict T1 level AI could arrive in the next 5 to 10 years. If I click on approve and I go into my Twitter account, I should now see the post in here. So that is it, Lily. That is it for today's tutorial. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Share this with your friends, share this with other content creators, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.